Yep.
Yeah, we're live again.
But well, anyways, what we were saying, Milton, off your point, like with like the TIE Whisperer and like Anakin Starfighter, like to me, with Anakin Starfighter, it's like definitely one of the most underrated starfighters and just ships in general, just because as you mentioned, it's like so agile. It's obviously great in combat, like we saw at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, which unfortunately those ships get destroyed. I would have loved to see more of Anakin's Starfighter in that movie, or I
Right.
mean, just in general, like in combat and whatnot, because it's just a great ship overall.
Totally agree with you. Love it.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. So let's get into our favorite freighter type ships. We're talking about things like the Ghost or Millennium
Mm.
Falcon.
Like
I'll
travel the
have,
galaxy in basically.
yeah. I'll throw this one over to Milton first if you have any ideas.
I think this is considered a freighter. I think it is. I think because I like this movie so much and I liked how badass the ship they used it for was the Hammerhead Corvette or Corvette Hammerhead or something. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That considered a freighter?
I'll give it to
Yep.
you.
Yeah, because it wasn't huge. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like the Radis or like the other ones. Like that ship was I mean, it pushed a freaking Star Destroyer into a shield gate. Like
Uh-huh.
how dope was that? And obviously Admiral Radis, he probably was like my favorite character in that whole movie. Um, but he's like, give me a Hammerhead Corvette, and I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, like this is pretty dope. So I liked how they used it. And did you notice, honestly, for like three straight movies, they were just using ships to like run into ships. Just saying. Um, but yeah, like I just loved how like that ship utilized the way it was built to destroy a shield gate to a planet. So if that's considered a freighter, I'm loving it. Obviously, we have our obvious picks here, but that one stands out to me for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the ship that you guys all know I love, and that's the YT 2400. That is another ship from Shadows of the Empire. If you get
Hmm.
the whole pattern that's going on here, Dash Rendar ship that he flies with his one buddy droid, which I should know, and it's escaping me. I want to say it's 4LOM, but I know that's the bounty hunter.
I'm shocked you didn't go with like the Ebon Hawk.
It was up there. It was up there. I know that the good old ship of Revan from Knights of the Old Republic, but
Mm.
I think it's just all the years I played with the toy of the YT 2400 Outrider that just made me fall in love because the toy would like it did this crazy thing that Hasbro toy where it actually like turned into like a B wing where
Mm.
it wasn't canonical, like this doesn't happen in the game, but like the side compartment cockpit like they have it on the Millennium Falcon would like go upward and like the hull would stay and like that part would go and like the turret on the side would like go underneath and it would just be like that.
Mm.
um, so that was interesting, and then of course in Lego Star Wars you could actually fly those ships. So of course I always have that as my default ship flying around in that.
Oh yeah, I mean, those are both really good choices. Like I mean, of course, everyone on the podcast and all our listeners knew you were going to pick Dash's ship just because, like, it's just such a great ship, and for any hardcore Star Wars fans and anybody that's like in our age range, like in their 20s and 30s, had definitely had played the Shadows of the Empire game, and like that game is, I mean, that ship is still making like impacts to this day in Star Wars fandom because, like you mentioned, Chris, what a celebration. You had people like chanting about like Dash Rendar, like cheering for Dash Rendar or
Yep,
something for like the books,
yep.
like that. Yeah, like that. Like that's still having a big impact on people to this day, and that ship is a big part of it.
Oh man.
Um, but yeah, I'd say for my like freighter class ship, it'd be easy to say the Millennium Falcon just because like that's just like the default. That's like the open dunk in the NBA. Like that's an easy one. But to me, I would say my favorite, especially thanks to the Mandalorian series, by far has to be the Slave One because like that ship before we saw Mando, like it kind of looked like the Slave One was a really tiny, like tiny ship, like compressed ship on the inside, like didn't have
Yep.
much room. And then when you see Mando, it's like holy smokes, like they have like a full blown, almost like not mess hall, but almost like a little mess hall coffee area in there. Like, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
so like it's a nice, it's like, because you know, you have Boba Fett and then like talking about like going up to the observation deck or whatever in the ship. So like that ship's a lot bigger than what it seems. And like to me that's such a cool ship, like in terms of like the way it flies, and then like for how roomy it is actually on the inside, and just like its of course functionality of like stealth and weaponry and everything else. Like to me that for sure got solidified being my favorite like freighter class ship, due to the Mandalorian series, because like the Mando series 100% made me you know, solidify that as my favorite ship for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What about you, Milton?
I think I already mentioned the Corvette, right?
Oh wait,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Corvette, the Corvette.
Yep,
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
Yep, the
yep.
Corvette.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Slave One, again, another toy that I played endlessly with. I had the Lego. I have like the regular, like action figure variant that you could put in there. But
Yep.
yeah, I think Book of Boba Fett really opened up the door, because we're like, hey, it looks kind of small, and they actually show you like several scenes. It's neat to see that perspective.
Right.
All right, this is
Oh,
our
yeah.
final one, our cruiser design. So our bigger ships, like you would expect from the Mon Calamari cruisers to the Star Destroyer variants. I'll start this one off. This is going to be very obscure, very, very obscure. You might have not even heard of it. It's called a Starhawk. Have either of you heard of it?
No, which era
I
is it
don't
from?
think so.
Starhawk is a brand new creation in Star Wars. It was created in the Aftermath books in Empire's End. The Battle of Jakku, the New Republic had basically forged 3 Star Destroyers into like one gigantic battleship that uses tractor beams to basically pull ships down to orbit into a planet to destroy them. It's really cool, and they actually made a Star Wars X-Wing miniature of it, or Armada, Star Wars Armada miniature of it. But yeah, it definitely looks like it's a Star Destroyer-esque, from the hull planing, because it's pretty cool. Yeah, they've literally, after the Battle of Endor, they were just starting to put together different battle cruisers to just completely decimate the Empire. And I think these things are so massive. They're smaller than a Super Star Destroyer, but they're much larger than an Imperial Star Destroyer. And there's only 3 of them, I think, made at that time of the Battle of Jakku. But they are pretty cool in how they actually function with the tractor beams being so strong to literally like move ships around that are the size of a Star Destroyer. So that's mine. That one's in Aftermath, and also in Star Wars Squadrons, which you can now play, Ben, because you now have Game Pass, so you should play it.
Good call.
You'll
Good call.
actually have missions involving getting to like escort the Starhawks, and like the back half of the game is all about the Starhawks and like protecting their production, and like General Harrison Dula is like the one in charge of the whole creation of the project and everything. Yeah, it really gets in deep with that. So that's gonna be mine. Whoever wants to go next on this.
I think for me, yeah, I'm going with the villain again here. I've always liked the Dreadnought Snoke ship. Like, is that the Equalizer or Finalizer?
Oh, Supremacy.
Supremacy, yeah.
Supremacy.
I've always liked that. Like, I've always liked the Star Destroyers. I ain't gonna lie. Like they're so fire. Like, I mean, you can live on those bad boys, seriously. And so like I would take Snoke's ship because it's dope, and we haven't seen that model at the time.
No.
You know how it looked. I mean, it was 2-3 times the size as a regular
Super
Star
Star
Destroyer.
Destroyer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Super Star Destroyer.
I'm
So,
pretty
like, yeah.
sure this is how big it was. I'm pretty sure, like, one of the books I read or something, it had a Star Destroyer production facility
Yeah.
in that effing ship. Like, that's how big it was. And then not just any Star Destroyers, like, I'm talking about the big First Order Star Destroyers, which were like 3 times the size of a regular. Those are being created in a production facility somewhere in that ship. It was, and I like the design, how it's almost like a stealth bomber, where it's not built
Yes.
out like forward, it's built out from the side, so it's very, very wide. So up until that point, everything is very triangular, like in shape, right? But that's pretty cool.
No, I like that design. I mean, obviously, I like how that scene played out with the hyperspeed being weaponized, which is okay.
So what
But
I
I
will, yeah.
love, I love the way how it looked.
Yeah, what I will say is that most of these ships are from The Last Jedi, so at least I could
I
say
know.
that there's been something that you actually like about the movie.
No, no. And here's the thing, and this is why I tell people like I am very objective as a Star Wars fan. Like I take things away from the movies. Like I like the last.
Yeah, you
I
don't
like
just
the
blindly hate it.
yeah. I like the Luke Kylo interaction at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler. I like the first 10 minutes of that movie because they're being wiped out, and then I like some of the ships. Like that's it. Like I mean, I'm just being honest here. I mean, and,
Yeah.
I like Luke. Like I like seeing Luke Skywalker when he's on screen because it's Luke, and like when he talks about Palpatine or Sidious, so that's cool,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a good choice there. Like, the Supremacy is a really good ship. Like you said, because it's such a big model of a Star Destroyer, basically, or it's 3 times as big. Like that's crazy even to imagine that. And then like for me, I'd say with the ships, like it's hard to say because you have the Star Destroyers, you have other big ships like I feel like the Trade Federation ships are underrated from Phantom Menace. I think those are pretty cool looking ships, having like a big hangar bay. The way they do. But I would say I'm gonna have to lean toward the villains as well on this one. This is kind of cheating, kind of. I mean, I guess technically it is a ship because it did get transported somewhere. But I would say for me, it would have to be the Death Star, just because it's such a icon in, like, to me, like an iconic part of my Star Wars fandom, because just the idea of something being like the size of like a moon or a planet, and having all those capabilities, especially for anybody that hasn't read it, in the old Legends books, you had the Death Star book, and the cool thing with that book, I think you would really enjoy it, Chris. And I'm not sure if you have read it before, Milton, or listened to it, but like basically, it's really cool because you have this story. It's kind of like Galen Erso. You kind of have the story of this like engineer who's working on the Death Star, and it's like right before the whole events of A New Hope, and it's cool because like you follow him through his whole like pretty much daily life of living there and stuff, and it's cool because you're getting like these ancillary things in that book. Like you have so for example, you have like the lead character, like he's witnessing like he's inside the Death Star witnessing like he right before right as the book's ending, because of course everyone dies, spoiler, but as the book's ending, you have him like looking out like a viewport thing, and he sees like Han's the YT-1300 like fly by, and like all this, like you have these like little ancillary connections to A New Hope, like so you're getting like kind of like A New Hope. It's kind of like your certain point of view New Hope book,
sounds
basically.
like
that. It's that sort of deal. But you literally follow this guy's like journey from like a couple of years or so before A New Hope, like leading into that on the Death Star, and that's kind of like, to me, like added more to the Death Star for me, because like you actually are like realizing like the Death Star is literally basically a planet, and then taking away from say like the Death Star 2. I mean, who wouldn't want, like we talked about it last week with Return of the Jedi, like who wouldn't want to be like all these caveats to me wanting the Death Star? I would have to be the person in charge, because I'd want to be the one sitting in like the Emperor's throne room in that chair, like, because who would not want that in your ship? Like just to sit there and chill and be like, yeah, this is mine right here. Like, like I don't know. I feel like the Death Star is a really great underrated ship because it's a planet basically. But yeah, I mean, and if I was in charge of it, it would be getting more shielded so people couldn't blow it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's an underrated ship for that, and the fact that houses like millions of people.
Yeah, I always think back to a video game back in the 90s called Empire at War, or it might have been early 2000s, and if you played as the Empire, it was literally something you could do was like transport the Death Star to just like decimate an entire planet.
Yep.
And if you like waited long enough, however so many turns, because what I liked about that game was they had ground assaults, and then they had like space battles, so you can actually interact with both. And I gotta check my Steam library because I think I might even have that game on Steam now. I gotta check it out. But yeah, so yeah, I mean that's the ultimate vehicle. I mean it's not an installation. The Death Star does move, so technically
Yep.
that counts.
Hey, gotta be technical here. Hey, we can carry with the Death Star. You can carry all these smaller ships like Anakin Starfighter, and the ships we've mentioned tonight, Boba Fett, Slave One, all these different things. We can just carry them right with my Death Star.
There you go. There you go. So that is going to do it for our discussion on ships and vehicles in Star Wars. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Getting into next week, looks like another normal week unless they drop some massive news on us. So we will be back same time, same place on Friday at around 9 o'clock Eastern time. You can also listen to us. New episodes go out on Monday if you just want to listen to us. And we do want you guys to listen to the podcast, share it to your friends, let everybody know that if you're a Star Wars fan in your life that wants to listen to Star Wars, Outer Rim Transmission is your place to go. We also have t-shirts on teespring.com. Search Outer Rim Transmission as well. Ben, I think I already know the answer to what you're going to be up to this week, but I will leave it to you to just be clear about that with the audience here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much for me, the foreseeable future is probably going to be playing a lot of Madden since that just came out. And then other than that, I'm going to be, of course, lifting weights and being active, continuing to diet. That's going decently. But yeah, just kind of the typical fitness, sports, getting ready for the NFL season in a few weeks because of all things. So D23 weekends, that Thursday night is NFL kickoff as well, the 8th. So like you have all of these things coming up. So it's definitely an exciting time for Star Wars fans as well as sports fans. And for me, I'll be talking about all of that sort of stuff on my social media. You can find me on Twitter at RealBenMaynard and Instagram at RealBenMaynard there as well.
There you go. What about you, Milton?
This weekend I am celebrating my sister's 21st birthday tomorrow evening, so we'll be doing that as a family. Other than that, I'll just be doing my normal thing, just working out in the morning, probably work on my attic, getting that renovated, still starting that little small project. I just had my first fantasy football draft last night. I'm scheduled to have another couple that next couple weekends because I know one of the Fridays coming up in September I won't be here because of fantasy football. So that's ramping up because of football, as you guys know. So, but yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at MiltonWeber7 or on Instagram at Milton7Weber.
There you go. And as I said off the top, I have my review for this Princess and the Scoundrel novel written by Beth Revis. That'll be on the channel probably tomorrow if you're watching this live on Friday. And I will just be putting up my usual comic book reviews in the meantime and painting more miniatures. Maybe I should get back in the habit of posting more pictures because I've been doing a lot of work on that end, which is why I'm still not through Lego Star Wars because so much painting and putting those things together is very time intensive there. So anyway, we hope that you can join us next week for another episode of Outer Rim Transmission. We'll go live around 9 o'clock Eastern on Friday night. For Milton, for Ben, for I, Chris, a.k.a. Starrapter, this was Outer Rim Transmission number 71. Signing off for tonight. Be well. May the Force be with you. End transmission.